I'm Vern Smith. I'm in the middle of building an RV-12, which is a light sport aircraft kitted by Vans Aircraft. Now, building an airplane can be exciting. It can be a lot of fun, challenging, and yes, even frustrating at times. So what we're going to look at today is specifically the no-sweat method of how to install control rod ends and hopefully take a little of that frustration out of your project. So this is the concept behind the no-sweat method. This particular push rod is from an RV-12, goes at the bottom of the control stick. The instructions require you to put these two small washers on each side of these and then insert it into the control stick and then push a bolt through. So how do you do it? Using the no sweat method, you cut yourself a small aluminum tube that is the length that equals the width of the push rod as well as the two washers. So the whole assembly can then be assembled or put together just like this. In this format, notice that the aluminum tube does not protrude beyond the washers. This assembly now can be slipped into the bottom of the yoke, aligned through the hole with a pin, and then the bolt is simply slid through, and as it slides through, it pushes out the aluminum tube that's in the center of the unit, leaving you with a perfect assembly. No sweat. Let's take a look now at a typical installation in an RV-12. To demonstrate the no sweat method of installing these, we're actually going to use the flapper-on torque tube as an example of this. As you recall, the first thing we do is take that short piece of aluminum tubing and slip it through the bearing surface, leaving just enough on each side to put the washer that fits into this unit. Okay, as you see here, there's actually a washer on both sides. And again, recall that aluminum tubing is no wider than the bushing or the bearing surface as well as the two washers. Next, we're going to take the flapper-on torque tube, snake it on through the hole, and get it ready to install. Now, because we don't want those washers to fall off, I'm going to put just a slight amount of pressure on those as we slip the torque rod into place. So there you have it. The tube's still in there, but at the same time, both washers are already in place. Now, if this was a tighter fit, such as you'll find at the bottom of the control sticks, you're going to want to use an alignment tool. I found that the standard nail set works very well. Because of the long taper, it allows the hole, tube, and parts to all align correctly. Because this is fairly loose and I can work it back and forth, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to go ahead and use the bolt to push it straight through. So first thing of all, I will work it through so that the holes are aligned correctly. And then you notice the aluminum tube is starting to push out. And there you have it. I'll have to make sure that I pick that tube up, but really the only job that's left is to push the washer, nut, and then make sure we torque it down to the correct settings. I hope you've enjoyed this little demonstration of the no sweat method of installing bearings and control rod ends.